To Astro Mondays, everybody. This is the last week I'm going to be on, probably. Gary's going to be on after this. It's been real. If you guys were on here last week, you know that Chris and I talked about Mercury going into retrograde and Mars going into retrograde and what that all meant for last week. I'm excited to see what of my week these last few weeks. And I do some awesome epic stuff. Like this morning, I went on a run on the beach, which was amazing. So now we're on a phase two of the day, which is this conversation. What's up,
Hey,
Christopher?
buddy. Hey, thanks for that great intro. Oh, you'll be back. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. Let me
You'll
adjust
be
this
back.
camera here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Gary will need some time off in 2 weeks. We'll see.
yeah. The week did not disappoint. It was everything that you said that it was gonna be. Yeah, I won't get into the personal details, but definitely shifts happened for me.
Yeah, shifts happening big time. You know, I really felt Mars retrograde hit Friday. Like come Sunday in particular, yesterday, people were really talking about how they felt like an energy loss. They just didn't really feel like that push to do anything. So we felt that for sure, and we're definitely feeling, I think, a lot of change in the story or how people address the story. I'm seeing some changes in that. It's kind of funny because I was down for the most part last week, not feeling well, putting myself first. Um, you know, Trying to rearrange where I throw myself under the bus, which I now know where it is. It's actually with human relationships. It's not with workload.
There you
It's a,
go.
it's a thousand paper cuts of people, me helping other people feel better when I really just need to do what's right for me. Like so last week I think was a real revelation. Hopefully it was a revelation for people as to kind of like where it is you keep missing the train. Like where do you keep missing the bus? Like where do you keep missing it? Um, and I see someone says they have an energy boost. You might be retrograde in your birth chart. So if you're Mars retrograde in your birth chart, you'll feel a boost right now. You'll feel an unusual boost, and I take advantage of it if I were you. But yeah, over the last week, it was really about was like coming to truth with what our heart feels and believes. 13 is a very strong degree in Sag because the three is so strong because 13 is Leo and Sag basically put together. So 13 in Leo and 13 in Sag is always more powerful because there's so much of you that's so clear about, one of those two equations. And so I think for a lot of people is a real like eye opener last week as to what they really believe in versus what they're practicing. Did you have that?
Well, there was some definite life shifts, like the direction that I was going, just as a family, as we were going, shifted to a different direction, and then also, like you said, a lot of people pulling on me, and me just like not even replying to messages to explain that I'm not available. Like
Right.
it's like to the point where like even the explanation that I'm not available is too much to do. So just completely ignoring people, which I wasn't going to say, but you kind of mentioned it was the same kind of thing. So I just like completely ignored people. Saying no was even too much for me. Um,
Yeah.
and then, and then also that staring at the fridge, not knowing what to grab, that was and is relevant. And you were saying that's going to last a while, though.
It
February
is.
23rd is the change of that. And yeah, for some reason, last week's broadcast was like it really stuck in my mind. Like I remembered the dates, I remembered the days, I remember the energy of it, and it just felt really real for me.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. Well, that's interesting. Um, that I don't know why it hit yet last week and not the months we've been on the air together, but that's okay. I'm just kidding. Not a big deal. No, I think maybe I just think you're a type of person that like because you're a Libra, like when it really hits home, it's because it resonated 100%.
Yeah.
So so I just think Libras, when it's more true, they're just more aware. Because otherwise they sort of push out by nature. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people who aren't quite. Yeah, there's a lot of changes going on in storyline. So we have the South Node in Libra still. I'm gonna go into Virgo early next year, and that is like leaving behind parts of yourself with yourself. That's what's really interesting is we're letting go of like a way of relating to ourselves. And one way of relating to myself is for me to feel better, I make sure they feel better. So that's where I realize I'm like, hold on. Like, and the irony is like the complaint is you don't care about our feelings. It's like, it's completely opposite. It's that because
Right.
I care, I'm getting sick. You know what I mean? Like I know it appears that way because I don't respond the way you want me to after it's all come to light. But to me, it's like, but then to myself, it's like, oh, shame on me because I could have just made myself happy and not given a shit. Like what people are feeling, and that comes from like my childhood codependent relationship with a cancer mother who's never happy. She's always a volcano going off. So I'm like, kind of hardwired. So it's catching those like little tiny moments with yourself that are so quick you don't even realize you're screwing yourself because it just becomes so much of a habit. You know, um, a lot of people think, oh, you're off the air because you do too much. No, I'm off the air because I stay up too late accommodating people. I do things for people that I shouldn't be doing. Like it's like it's not in the areas that I'm not infected in the areas you think I'm infected. It's very personal where I let myself down, right? So the whole point is, I think with this South Node in Libra, like we're really starting to see like, oh, there's parts of how I treat me. Like I throw myself way under the bus before I do with the public, before then the public feels like it did with them, like because I had let myself down three steps earlier. Like we're starting to see, I think, really where our karma takes root.
And South Node, can you elaborate a little bit more on like what is South Node? What does South Node in Libra mean? When did that start? When does that end?
Totally. So the nodes, first of all, are an imaginary calculation made by the sun's ecliptic and the moon's orbit and where they cross. Okay, so they cross in the sky every day, like their orbits do. Like if you made a line around their orbits, like right here in the sky behind me, if
Yeah.
you made a line around their orbits, their north would make an X and their south would make an X, where they just swing each other's lanes. Okay, and that's what happens. They swing each other's lanes, but it's just a perception of where the visual is. What we understand consciously is that the south node, where the sun and moon connect in the southern, is basically the energy you're moving away from, the energy society is moving away from.
Okay.
Okay. The north is where society is moving towards. So for 9 months, every 18 years, or is it 18 years? Can't remember if it's 18 months every nine. I think it's 18 months. Yeah. For 18 months every 9 years. I know these are complicated. They add to nine. We actually do return. So it take 18 years for the South Node to be back in Libra.
Okay.
In 9 years, the North Node will be in Libra. So
Okay.
basically, every 9 years, you get this like end switch, end switch,
Hmm.
end switch. Okay, where you switch focus of each of these polarities. Now, recognize these polarities are conscious points of human consciousness. So the Aries, the North Node, is the self, and the Libra is the we, right? And ironically, you and I were talking about a couple
Right.
weeks ago about how the we is what it's all
Right.
about,
We're
right?
entering that.
Enter the period of the we. However, our current definition of we is toxic.
Okay.
So humankind's definition of we. So when I think about we right now, like you and I'm bringing my damage to the table in that we. I'm bringing like, oh, I feel bad, so I should do this. I'm bringing, oh, they're gonna think I'm this because of those times that this happened. We're bringing our trauma to the we, and so the we's polluted. None of that's working together. There's no team, you know. You know, and so the North Node in Aries is like saying, hey, we're gonna have to think I, capital I, for a while, to get healthy on those we's, so we have been focusing on I with the North Node in Aries and moving away from all these we's that were based on a weak I. So
Mm.
because we had a weak I, we had weak we's and weak knees too. Like we were just inflexible. And so the whole Libra zodiac, all the Libras, their entire way of functioning is outdated. So when the South Node is in your name, in your sign, you are at the current the least evolved of the signs. Like we need you to like catch up, and everyone gets that catch up phase. Every 18 years you get a catch up phase. Every 9 years you get a go faster than you've been going. So when reverse is in 9 years, we'll be like, okay, you got now run with the we run, right? Like so it'll be like, you got everything it takes, just go for it. So like 9 years will probably be when the country and the world starts to really come together, when the North Node is in Libra. But that's
Wow.
only because we had this 18-month period of I. And it's funny how people go, it's about the we, it's not about the I. It's about both.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, there's I and there's we. And that's the whole point of coming down is I. We're all fucking one big we up in heaven. It's boring.
right.
The fact that I can be I and I can do it the way I want to, that's the whole point of life. Like now the eyes have it too much, and so that's when you have the North Node in Libra that it rebalances it back to the we. So we're in the last stages. The South Node right now is, I think it's step 3 Libra. It goes backwards the node, so it goes 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. So you start with the big picture and you work slowly down to yourself in one of these transits. And so we're now down to the nitty gritty, which means that first 3 degrees, the first 3 degrees of Libra is everything. It's what I believe, so it's what I love about myself, step 1 Libra, what I feel about myself, step 2 Libra, what I believe about myself, step 3 Libra. Those first 3 degrees of Libra are your conscious choice of your position with yourself. And so although people might be triggering you right now and causing a lot of, mayhem, it all comes down to, for instance, with me, this belief in myself that I have to put out everyone's emotional fires. Like that's some sort of deal I made. Like that's not the deal I made. I didn't make the deal. That's just because they had a crazy mom. That's not really my plan. Like I'm not interested in changing diapers. I only had one son for that reason. Like, like so. It's like a little, like kind of a wake up call of, and for me, the wake up call was, okay, I know the world thinks this is the issue, but the real issue is that I'm letting myself down by not caring more for my I. That's why I got sick.
So the South Node always goes reverse in steps through every sign.
And the North Node too. They both do.
That was gonna be
So the North
my
Node's
next.
at 3 degree Aries. So North Node 3 degree Aries is like, well, what do I believe in? What do I believe in about myself? I believe, and this is where people get scared because if you really get honest with what you believe about yourself, people think you're fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like as far as what most people tell, it's like, well, I believe I won't get COVID. And I didn't. Okay. Didn't. Not once. And sometimes I wear a mask and sometimes I didn't. I just knew, I believed I wasn't, and I wasn't. And my body's like, we're not. Now I don't know the science of why I didn't. I just know I didn't wasn't gonna get it. And I didn't. I think I can call the race now and not look like a snooty, but like think of the consequences of me sharing that to the public. I won't get it. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah,
That's a lot
it's
of things
almost
we
like
believe
we're
about
not
our.
allowed to do that.
Yeah, go ahead. Say it again.
I said it's almost like we're not allowed to do that the way that society is right now. I mean, I definitely have a governor on how much I share about my own personal beliefs. Um, like there's a huge governor that I have on social media of like what I share on what I believe on various topics. I just don't even comment on various
Me
topics
either.
like diet, politics. Like there's just things that like it doesn't serve the purpose because it's going to make everybody go wild and crazy, like you said.
Look, the only reason people even care about your opinion is because government has established they want to control it. Like, opinion shouldn't matter at all if there wasn't some tyrant trying to control everyone's opinion. You know what I mean? Like, It's evidence. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what I believe. What matters is the person watching what you believe, because this reality is being around that belief. And the more you cater your beliefs to suit the public, the more you are out of touch with your real power. Because at that point, once you're following the movie as source, you're no longer the creator of the movie. You're a spectator. So if you look at the movie as the source, like, ooh, this is the source of reality, then you're basically looking at the movie screen going, wow, this is life. It's like, no, that fucking projector in the back room is the life. Like it's the one shining this mirage in front of you. So we've been told this is not even our fault. It's like we were lied to. And that source was, the realities outside of us and all this other stuff. So long story short, yeah, I haven't shared my opinion either. And I don't necessarily think sharing opinion is important. I'm just going to live by it from now and not make
Yeah.
apologies.
So we're a few more months with North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'll sneak look it up here next time you have like a little moment
Which
of go
means
down one of
that
your diatribes.
which means that like people should be strengthening their own position of who they are in the next few months because of that
100%.
North Node.
This is your one chance in 18 years to stand up and and listen to yourself. You know, 18 years. You don't get it often. I mean, what year was that last time? We're at 2024 right now,
5 or
so
something.
2016. No, not even. Yeah, 2005. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's it. I can't go to my calculator. It's going to disconnect with you. I'm not good at math, guys. I don't care about it.
24 minus 18 is like 6, but I don't know, like 24 minus
Yeah,
18
2006.
is
Yeah.
6.
That was
Yeah.
2006. That's what I thought. Yeah. It was 2006, 2005, 2006. That's correct. So that was 4 years after, that was 4 years after 9/11. That's the last time we were directed by the universe to do what I want. So you were,
Mm,
the universe didn't say do what I want until 2005, 2006. That's the last
yeah.
time.
I
18
gave my
years
life and
ago.
moved to California in
And
2006.
was
Just
that kind of bold?
yeah, just moved with nothing basically. So
Yeah, I created Soul Garden, my first brand, and left television a steady paycheck. And so I was like winging it with a hope and a prayer, like as a young pioneer, not knowing where my customers were going to come from. I had somewhat of a following, but not like now. So it was pretty,
okay, so
it tells you
we're going
how
through that
ballsy
here.
this moment is. Well, we're at the tail end of it. I think here's what's going to happen. I'm glad we're talking about this. It's just very organic, but like, so everyone gets their ovaries and testes back, basically these next 3 degrees of the North Node in Aries. Like this is the last 3 degrees. Like, well, do you or don't, says the universe. Like, do you or don't? Like, shit or get off the pot is basically what these last 3 degrees are. And then Saturn and Neptune both go into Aries, which is basically crosses the nodes. Saturn and Neptune cross the node, the North Node, which is basically everything in spirit and everything in control saying, go for it.
So Saturn is,
Currently in Pisces.
but you said spirit and control. Saturn and what does Saturn represent?
Saturn's our authority, our ability to make decisions, to control. So um,
And then
you have to
Neptune.
really listen to Saturn. You have to really pay attention to the astrology and pay attention to Saturn. But like, Saturn's been in Pisces for a while now, so we've had the ability to go. Enough is enough. I'm tired of these codependent da-da-da-das. Like, so Saturn and Pisces is giving you like the strength to go. Enough. I'm ending this shit. I'm tired of it. Like most people just sit there and deal with it, deal with it, deal with it. Saturn comes along in that space, and suddenly you're like, all right, that's it. You just have this like energy to like do something about it. Like you have this authority. Like suddenly you don't feel like ignorant or you don't feel novice. You feel like I'm going to do this. So Saturn in Pisces has been very murky because Pisces is subconscious, dream life, fantasy, delusion. So you're making decisions like I'm no longer going to be deluded by this. I'm no longer going to fall into this fantasy. And most importantly, I'm no longer going to repeat this karmic pattern, which is what Saturn in Pisces really does is repeat a cosmic pattern. So we've been deciding not to repeat a cosmic pattern. So a lot of our decisions have been esoteric, subtle. Our decisions have been not really clear to others, and what we're ending is a lot of delusion of ourselves, of going down the wrong path. We're ending a lot of moments where, we very, very, very quietly would have just, done something inside of ourselves, and no one had ever known. So Saturn's our authority. Now Neptune is our spirituality, our idea of guidance, and we're being spiritually led. And so Neptune has been in Pisces since 2012. And that's really been the light bulb that, has been illuminating, like, this is a pattern. This is a pattern. Like, Neptune and Pisces, like, no, 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 we always end up drunk without our keys. Like, this is a pattern. Like, so Neptune's like revealing, see, it's not your illusions. This is like your pattern, and your pattern goes back to your past lives and how you've been patterned by your childhood. So Neptune's been exposing the pattern since 2012, since the Mayan shift. Saturn came along finally at the end of that Neptune transit and said, okay, you want to do something about these patterns? So Saturn has been giving us the authority, like, okay, I'm going to end this fucking pattern. I'm going to start this new pattern. And so we've been like in the murk of our spirituality. Now Saturn and Neptune both go to Aries 0 degrees at the same fucking time. And they cross the North Node in Aries going, bye, I'm on my way to Pisces. So now the North Node goes to Pisces, and all this energy in Pisces goes to Aries. Blunk. Okay. So what happens is now Saturn in Aries is like, well, let's stop the pattern. So Aries is the behavior, the actual actions, the ego, the fight, everything that perpetuates the pattern is Aries. Your behavior, your blocks, your resistance. So Saturn Neptune goes, okay, that's it. Neptune's like, I'm going to give you the fantasy that you can win this. And Saturn's like, and I'm going to give you the hammer. So Saturn and Neptune in Aries, the last time that was Civil War. American Civil War.
Where we completely shifted how we
Where
operate.
we said, fuck this Lincoln guy. We're going to war. We said, fuck this guy. He's not telling us what to do. I'm not saying we as in I was in that side. Probably was, because now I'm a good guy. That's how it tends to work. But not that those are bad, but, enslaving a race is bad. So, I mean, sorry. But the point is like, you had years of how is slavery immoral? It's not immoral. It's part of our economy. Like, Sarah went to Aries is like, them fighting words. Like, that was it. It was over. Like, we were going to do something about it. So this is why shit hits the fan next year. Hits the fan. Because you've had your time to figure out what your patterns are. You've had your time to figure out who you are. You've had your time to see how your childhood, corrupted you. Now we're getting this ultimatum from the universe. Do something now. Do something now about it. Quit talking about it. Do something. And so we're going to see a lot of bad actors feel that call to do something. They're going to feel like they're being endorsed to do something bad. We're going to have a lot of good actors. They're going to say, this is my moment. The earth needs me. We're going to have a lot of people just in the way. Get out of the way. Honk. Like, we're just like swerving around, not knowing what to do, just making it harder for everyone. But everyone's going to be moving somewhere. And that motion is going to be intense for 3 years, but then still steady for a good 4 or 5 after.
All right. So then everybody listening, we want to be one of those drivers that know where we're going.
At least get out of the way. Yeah. If you know what the fuck you're doing, get out of the way. Because the traffic alone, everyone's going to feel like they've got to get up. Like everyone.
Yeah.
That's why this one moment is like a Mars retrograde. Enjoy it. Because I don't know what's going to happen. Particularly, I can't see the future events literally. But I know everyone's going to be doing something at the same time. And mostly it's inward first. So Saturn, the early degrees of Aries is you being nagged by yourself. You're going to take that? You're going to put up with that? You're going to let him say that? So the first degrees of Saturn Aries is like, really? You're going to let that happen? Just like your dad treated you? Just like your mom? So you just like this inner nag where you're just like, fine, to yourself, we're like, because Saturn's just on your back, which means like life is just like, see, we told you, Chris. See, we told you. Like you're just hearing that everywhere. So it's really what's the word? Aggressive, Saturn in Aries. And the other problem about Saturn in Aries is people make decisions too quickly. Like, fine, I'll kill them all. Hold on, hold on. I don't know if you want to do that, the South. I don't know if you want to split the union and actually do. Oh, he did it! Damn it! He declared independent. Now they're. Oh, Jesus! Now every state is saying that they can secede. Like whoever the first one was, like should have slowed down that decision because people tend to act impulsively and decide impulsively. When Saturn's in Aries, it's like you learn from your mistakes. Very, very seldom do people really go through the 11 steps and make sure it's the right move to make. They're quick to decide and act. Let's say we're doing it. We're banning them. So I do see crazy over responsive reactions to President Trump. I do see, crazy over responsive Congress united under Republican going too far as fast as they can go. Everyone's going to be just trying to steal the football and score a touchdown at the same time. And then even realize it's halftime, God damn it.
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels.
Right? It's
Everyone's
like,
going
Jesus.
after it right now. It's like this is
Oh,
my time
everyone's going
to tip
to go
over.
after everyone. You
Yeah.
know what? Trump won't take it this time. Like everyone's going to fight this time. I think the first round, I don't know how much fighting it was in reverse. I'm not even taking sides. I'm just saying I saw a lot of punch in one way. I saw a lot of punch in the other. Maybe both sides felt punched, but this is full on cloudy, so much dust in the arena. I can't even see who's fighting.
That's a good way of putting it. I can feel that. It's definitely, he's not on the defensive as
No.
much.
And that's what, it's interesting to see it because I don't know. I'm an objective media watcher because I make TV and film. And so I look at it as what's it saying, you
Mhm.
know, not who's right. I don't give a fuck. Like, it doesn't matter. Like it's always in every lifetime, someone else is right. It doesn't matter. Right. Like, Lincoln probably be hated right now if he came out speaking for African Americans. I think he'd be hated. Like, you know what I mean? Because it goes against current narrative, what he was saying. You know what I mean? Like, because right now the narrative is, the reverse. Like, you got to pay is now kind of like the reverse. Like, and I think Lincoln would have been like, no, that's going to cause more trouble. Like, like, but my point is, so it doesn't even matter like who's right and who's wrong in history because it's all about where you are in your story right now, right? But I didn't see a lot of counter punching, real counter punching. I see fear of it, like this going to happen, that's going to happen, didn't happen. Now I think you're going to see shit happening. I think you're going to see both sides swinging, you know, um, and that's what Saturn and Aries is. So we're up for like 3 years of it being sticky. Now the Palladians also say this is the peak of the frequency wars. That the next 3 years are the frequency wars, which means that humanity is fighting for what they want to happen frequently. Like what do they want it always to be? And so everyone is fighting for the way it ought to be, and it is a fight. And if you're fighting someone else, you're an idiot. If you're fighting yourself, you're an idiot. Like the truth is fighting is idiot. You know what I mean? Like right there. Fight, oh idiot. Like right away. Because if anything, it should be a slow determination to change yourself. And if you make it a slow determination to change yourself, you won't waste any energy on fights.
Okay, so there's going to be a lot of fighting energy, and our sort of the guidance that we can receive here is to focus internally on the self.
100%. That's ascension right there. Ascension is you guys, it's not about them, they're a reflection of you. Like, get your eyes off the monopoly board and ask yourself what's really valuable. Like, so that's the huge, like some people will get, some people won't get. And I don't know what the percentage will be. I see when I go to I go out to America, I'm in here, California. Nobody's fighting. No one gives a shit. Like, no one in the grocery stores cares. By the way, California is the most diverse state I've ever lived in. Like, you can't go to people and count white twice. Like, you can't. Like, it is completely mixed. And California, which is like the representation of America's melting pot to the core, we're cool. So I don't know where the spike's coming from, but it's not here in my break, where I see people. But ultimately, yes, it's like what you want to do is realize that the world is not the way you want it because you're not the way you want to be with yourself. That's it. Like
Mhm.
it's the world is a reflection of where you are right now. So what does that mean? That means if I go to California, I mean, maybe the reason why I'm not seeing fights, if I was angry at myself, maybe I would go to Vaughn's and see a racial fight take it. Maybe I would. Maybe I would see someone throw a can good at an old lady's head and knock her down. Like maybe I would. But my life's pretty chill, so I'm not attracting that at all. The point is like if you want the world to be a better place, make it a better place inside yourself.
Mhm.
Period.
Yeah.
You will just magically not be drawn to where the bad stuff's happening.
This, this is like when you analyze dreams. Every character in your dream is yourself because from like the classical viewpoint of dreams, the dreams are happening in your mind, and that means that it has to come from an aspect of yourself. And if we can translate that into actual physical reality, even just play the game. I tell people you don't even have to believe it, but what if you just played a game with yourself for today or maybe the next few weeks? Are you able to use it as a meditative practice where you actually are knowing that everybody else, like, so beyond believing or pretending, but like, let's just pretend that you know that everybody is you, and it doesn't matter if it's real or not because you actually do see tangible shifts in your reality when you change your focus into this.
Yes, totally. That's what I've been saying for like the last maybe 6 months. Like right now, you and I are in heaven asleep and we're dreaming this. And it's just like a dream. The only thing is we're awake being able to control the dream, which is pretty cool, really. Like
Yeah.
you're awake in the dream. That's pretty fun, cool. So you're awake in the dream. And, and if you realize that, Ra is my brain is drawing him up in this dream. And from what I understand, that's the way it works. So Ra has free will, but I think that like Ra could kill me one day if in my dream I needed that to happen, whether or not the actual soul Ra would do it or not, because society knows it's just a mirage. So the world knows it's a mirage. So my point is like I even think what our friends say and do to us and everything is still we're writing it. I don't think our friends are writing it. I think they are a certain vibration, and then like color red is a vibration. We use the color raw to paint. Like, ooh, I'll have Raw come in as this nice guy on Mondays, and him and I'll shoot the shit, and I'll feel good in front of him because he laughs at my jokes, and that's the dream, you know.
Yeah. This is, I mean, it has to be like that. The easiest way to prove this to yourself is just look back at times in your life and how they started. It almost always has to do with interactions with other people, and then that caused you to do different things in your life, and you are where you are now because of that. Which means that these interactions with other people have a major part of your life story, and basically they're merged into your life story, and we just make everybody else separate because it's easier for us to comprehend that. But in actuality, there really is no separation. We're all breathing the same air, we're all eating the same food, we're all drinking the same water, we're sharing matter, we're all sharing all of these elements together. We just see skin in, and we're like, well, that person's a different skin suit than us, so they must be separate. But in actuality, you're both in the same room breathing the same air, which is spirit. You're inhaling this essence of life together. And yeah, we're wearing different skin suits and it appears that we're separate, but what if it's not? Are you still able to view life from the lens that we're not? And we're all together. And it can be like, do you have that ability to do that? And I think it's like you practice it a few times and you're like, oh, I can see the connection. And it's very apparent. And then like you're saying, you look up at the heavens and you see all of these uh, validations. Like you're calling these weeks, these times. Like this isn't like I get on here with you, you tell me how the week's gonna go based on the planets, and then it actually goes exactly like that. And not only that, you tell me how the last few years were, and it's exactly like that. Like, where's the separation there? Like, it's apparent that it's all as above, so below.
Totally. You know what? I see something here from Tail SLLC, Tail SSLE, like Tail Silic. Not when they attack you for no reason. No, they attack you because you attack you for no reason. Like, for
Come
instance,
on.
I think this
Yeah.
statement is you attacking yourself right here. Um, you're like publicly calling yourself a victim, which is an attack, and say you're powerless amongst the others, which is you attacking yourself and telling you are powerless. And there is a reason, and you know damn well what it is. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's a lot of games, but I just want to catch people on that stuff. It's like, sorry, if you use the word they to describe your pain, you're not in your power, period. You're not in your power. But I agree with everything you just said. Like, um, the truth is it's all so connected. There's really no privacy. I mean, that's the say. It's so connected that everyone's going to see everything you did wrong in heaven. Everyone's going to laugh at you. Like everyone's going to observe with you how stupid you were, and you're going to realize how stupid you were. Like, we don't really have any privacy at all. It's all one big public classroom. So enjoy this moment of alleged privacy while you have it, because it's not how it really is.
Yeah, there's a lot of near-death experiences, and the one theme that comes up is this panoramic life review, where you, like you just said, you view your life from the perspective of everyone, everyone that was involved in all of the experiences that you went through. You get the experience of everyone, the panoramic view of everything about how you reacted. You feel them as they are, and I think that's powerful. Just again to meditate on, to practice awareness of that. At the end of your life, you're going to redo all of this from everybody's perspective. So who are you now? How are you being?
Yeah, and that's the thing you're going to learn. So I guarantee you, one thing about astrology I do know is there's a clockwork to the universe. So God, God basically is, everything is. So we have to create this illusion of time. The only way to create the illusion of time is like movement. So if things are here and then they move there, the space between the two movements is time. So the planets are constantly just pushing this moment, like pushing you along. So if you're in heaven, it'd be like, come on, take another step, take another step. In heaven, you're just like, oh, you're everything, you feel everything. It's like there's no need to take a step anywhere. Here on earth, it's like and step and a step and a step, because that way you're sort of seeing this, frame by frame, and you're being able to get real close and understand like consciousness frame by frame, right?
Yeah,
So that's why we do this. So we're all stuck on that clock. You ain't gonna stop the universe. It's gonna move to the next stop. I mean, you're being forced on Earth to move along. Keep it moving, folks. Just keep it moving. It's sort of like a fun house where you just come out and you're like, oh, that was a lifetime.
yeah, yeah. We're going through all these different stages and steps, as you put it.
Totally. So yeah, I'll tell you right now, when you just if you can just do this and just realize how nothing matters at all. Like think about that for a minute. Like you're gonna die and nothing's gonna matter. So does it really matter if you go get the butter right now, mom? Does it? Like people I think lose perspective in the smallest little shit, like, it's gotta be this way. This isn't even real. All right, now I'm in heaven right now, having a sleep dream with you, and you're fighting about butter. So I just
Right.
think just to see the big picture, like, really puts in perspective how dramatic we are.
Yeah.
We are kids, man.
So anything going on this week? I mean, we were talking
Yep.
about more of like macro cycle with those planets that are lasting several months.
Yep.
Um, but what about like the day to day for this week?
And Sag is the time to talk macro, so I think it's appropriate this time of year that we did. So today is step 17, which is like that's to an 8. Now Mars is retrograde, so your ego is limp. It doesn't want to move. Okay. Mercury is questioning everything. What is questioning? I don't know. What is everything? Like, so the mind is just like not on par, which is actually good because the mind and ego are the two that conspire and get you in trouble every time, right? Because your mind only takes this piece of the information and your ego only takes this time that you were hurt. Like, and the two of them fuck you over every time when they get together. So God has timed them both out in corners, like you over there, you over there. And in that moment of ego and mind further to get to, God, universe, just saying, okay, so what do you believe about life today? What do you believe? And meanwhile, your mind is like, like tied up in the corner, and your ego's also tied up in the corner. So God's like, what is it? Like so. You have an option now to go with what you really believe. So going back, I'll just say I'm even afraid to say now. I did not believe I would get COVID. I did not believe it. I did not believe it. Okay, and I didn't. And I don't know if it's I don't know where the chicken and the egg come. But the point is like if you would have asked me then, I would have never told anybody. I wouldn't have
Right.
told anybody because of like the I don't even know why. Why is it the society's opinion even matters? But like it did for some reason. That's my poo poo. I won't do that again. But the point is like, okay, now that you've seen how you could just completely fuck yourself over to make the world happy, um, what do you believe? What do you believe your life should be? That's what the question is. What do you believe your life should be? And then tomorrow, step 18, we'll go do it. Well, shouldn't I? No, do it right now. Like, because in the future, is always in the future. Like it will never, the future will never be now unless you make the change now. So even though you'll be surprised, like because Mars retrograde makes us, laundry, like you just, anything that's been done before, you're just gonna be like, you just, your ego just doesn't want to do it because your ego's being waiting for new instructions. But the stuff that your heart's been waiting to do, like maybe, clean out that garage so you can have your painting corner, like that stuff you're going to find you have instant energy to. So one of the good judges of Mars retrograde is if you don't have the energy, answer is no.
Okay.
Okay. But if I believe that I should become a singer and I actually feel like I could get my ass to open auditions, do it. Like, because trust me, if you're not supposed to do it, you will have no energy. God's going to just like keep tranquilizing you more and more. And the more you go down the wrong path, the more you're going to fall asleep. It's like the only way to keep the humans on path now and then is to just drug them. And so anything that's bad behavior is drugged. It's going to be harder. It's going to be just impossible to get yourself to do it. So decide today, act tomorrow. Keep acting until Saturday. And basically this is a what I do, not what I say week. Because what happens is um come Wednesday, it turns to be really passionate. And passionate means that there's a lot of mixed feelings coming down the pipeline around Wednesday. So it's like, this is a good idea, but now that I see it's going to take work, I don't know. Like, or God, my wife didn't really like this idea, and she always doesn't like this idea. I mean, like, so it's like, so you're up against things you've been up against. And a lot of times when someone else in your life isn't for it, by the way, it's because it's between a history moment with the two of you. That's what you said right before you fell into the dinosaur's teeth. Like, they're being reminded of the last time you fucked it up. So you can't even take everyone's opinion in some respect, but nobody has any clue what's good for you at this moment. Nobody has any clue what's good for them at this moment. So don't listen to someone else right now. They have no fucking clue. They're just projecting their insecurity onto you right now. So this is a real man versus God moment, to use literature, tech, structure, where only you and God know what's supposed to happen at this point. No one. I don't care how close you are to them. They don't know. If they do know, you're lucky. You have someone in your life that actually knows. Because most of the time people don't, and that's the fun of life. I didn't tell you in heaven, honey, because I want to surprise you. Like some of that too, so you have to really listen to what you're told to. And this is a moment where you will regret the rest of your life, not listening to yourself right now. You will regret it the rest of your life. This is where people don't get on the boat. They don't, they shy out the last moment. They don't make the move. They don't make the try. They let it pass them by. And then the rest of their life is all how they let the world life pass them by. So you got to really listen. And my point is like, come Thursday, Friday, you feel a lot of emotion because we're going to step 20s. So because of the step 20s, you're feeling good one moment, you're feeling weak the next, you're feeling like you made the right decision, you're feeling like, oh, you fucked up, this is a dumb idea. Like you got to process a lot of gas off the soul, okay? There's just a lot of gas, which are basically emotional memories of times when it didn't work, mostly. Most of the time, people don't remember the times it worked. Um, they actually are feeling what they're feeling in that moment is they're feeling um, they're feeling talented and they're feeling capable. When you feel capable and talented, you don't realize you're feeling of a time you already did it.
Okay.
So you've been there before. You can do this again. You know. So someone says they're scared to do anything today. Don't let your emotions. I just told you, do not let your emotions rule you. They're going to be up and they're going to be down.
Right. And I just want to reiterate, just so what I heard was today's about believing, and then the rest of the week till Saturday is about actually acting despite what the people around you say, what your different voices in your head are telling you, like you already know, and just double down in the action this week.
Today you decide.
Yeah.
You don't believe, you commit. And by the way, commitment is look, there's a dark alley. I do have a gun. I heard something in that alley. Are you going to go in or not? You've got to decide, right? So you don't know. It's a dark alley. A whole bunch of stuff looks wrong. You got to decide. There's no like, God's going to talk you into it. Like, what's the point of a role play game if God's going to tell you what to do? You got to decide. Actually, God will tell you to do, but you'll question if that's really God. Is that God talking? I don't know. You know, this whole voice in me saying, do it. How do I know that's not the devil? You know? But the point is you make a commitment. Now, for those who commit, you so far ahead of the others because a lot of times I'm a step 18, I'm all about commitment. And it gets me in trouble sometimes because I'm so committed, I stay on the course over the mountains and crash into the thing. Because I committed, I end up killing myself a lot. But I'll still take it over for not being committal. Like because most of the time I've already beta checked it, my heart, everything. I already made this decision. Once I decide, I do it. And when the water gets rapids and kind of crazy, I'm like, I decided. Now I just gotta see till the end. So I don't let myself out of a decision, and that gets me through the rapids where a lot of people are like, I'm dying. And I was like, I decided. I decided. I'm getting past this shit. Like the decision alone is the clamp. That's Saturn. Saturn is the decision. You make a
That's
decision and you stick with it.
right.
Yeah. It's
Your
a
own.
crazy eight. It's infinity. It's a crazy eight. Until you undecide, it's infinity. It's infinity until you undecide. In fact, be careful. Don't tell anyone in your life that you're going to be with them forever and ever because that's infinity. You'll keep incarnating with them until you undecide that.
It's like a lock.
Hey, they said till death do you part. You should have taken that shit literally because otherwise it is a lock. Exactly. You're locked into it. Yeah, totally. So we hit rapids come Wednesday night. So come Wednesday night, you know, your folks find out, they give you shit. Your boss finds out, they start complaining. Oh, now here's a bill out of nowhere you didn't anticipate. Like, you know, it starts to become like you're on the rapids. And then these rapids go all the way through next Monday, which we won't talk. We'll even see if we live. I don't know if the show will be on, the earth will be here, but it's going to be really bad because it gets like 20, which is like, oh shit. And then 21, like, we got this. And then 22, like, oh shit. As far as the rapids of the 20s. And then we have a full moon at 23 degrees on Sunday, which is like, oh shit.
All right.
And that's it. We got to go. Good luck, guys. Just kidding. What I mean is it becomes very much like a Sagittarius. So what's really changing is the story that fast. It's not really life changing. It's the story. So it's like, okay, we filed for that. Oh, turns out you've got you've got an unknown son in Kentucky. Oh, really? I do, huh? You go to reach out to them. It's like, oh, young goes, looks like that son is the Gen X of your sister. Oh, really? So it's just like the story just keeps changing so fast. That's the rapids. It's not if you sit down, nothing's actually changed. No furniture's moved. No money's been spent. But enough plot points have happened at the same time where you're just like, I don't even know what to think anymore. And that's the whole point. I mean, you got to erase the old story. So it's like rapids. You'll find out one thing, something will happen. That'll take it up. You'll think this is the surefire way. Everything closes down. God's like, nope, that's not the way.
This is like super specific. This is
To
super
you?
specific about.
To you?
I mean, just like the way you're explaining this. and verbalizing the energy that we're all going to experience this week. It's like extremely specific. You're using metaphors that are like, it's crazy to me that you're doing this, because we're all going to go through this, and then it's going to play out in our own lives the way that it plays out. But it's just like the way that you're framing this is is crazy. So yeah,
Well, good.
I am excited for everybody to go through this
Yeah,
with me.
it's gonna be, what's the word? Popcorn eating, like even if it's horrible stuff like, well, my brother died, I'm a rich man, and my car just went over the cliff. Oh, like it's even anyone who even if it's crazy with dark shit, you're like, huh, who would have thought will be the word. Who would have thought? And Mercury's retrograde tied up in the corner. I don't know what to think. Good. Ego's tied up in the corner. Mars. I don't know what to think. Good, because you guys are the ones that fucked this all up, like the mind and the ego. But at the end of it, the full moon says, "Well, I guess this isn't going to happen anymore." So that full moon, that full moon at 23 is pretty much like, huh. So I won't die, a pinball wizard, like the song said. I'm just not going to be a pinball wizard. I thought I was my whole life. Oh my god, who would have thought? I would have thought that. So what ends up getting erased is like some like X on the spot was like, this is it. And God's like, no, turns out we just told you that, so you get here. Now it's over here. You know, it's kind of how it works. Like you kind of thought life was going to be this way or it's going to go this way. This is a full moon at 23 degrees Gemini. So it's a complete erasing of a thought. It's like God was like, delete that, but I'm going to be a rock and roll. Delete. No, you're not. Like, it's just a realization. And you ask yourself, you're like, oh, I knew that was the case. Why didn't I listen? And it's like, I don't know. Why didn't I listen to myself? Right? Like, there's those kind of aftermath things. But so there's a lot of like big headlines. So someone's getting divorced, someone's moving to Texas, someone's doing this, you'll get a lot of like headlines next
Headlines
week.
in your
Yeah.
life, like there's going to be like, this is what's happening, and it means this, but it's really you're still going the same direction. You're just feeling like you're getting jostled all around.
Like you look around, nothing's actually changed in the set. Like same set. You know what I mean? Like same clothes, same people. But it's like, but everything's changed. Nothing's changed, and yet everything's changed. That's the kind of wardrobe change you're about to have. Um, and a lot of things will be like, it turns out Bob was cheating on me, and everyone's like, we know. You're like, you did. Like it's like those types of things. Like,
Hello.
you know, it's like we knew about Bob. We want, when he took that hooker home, and you thought it was a babysitter. Like, whatever. It's like, like, but it's those moments too, where people are like, you didn't tell me. It's like, well, no, obviously you did not get it. So like, I'm not gonna be the one to tell you Bob's a bad guy. Like, there's a lot of like, well, I've been betrayed. There's a lot of like moments where people realize that there was things that their friends saw the whole time, but their friends who love them just let them go through it. So there's those little moments of like embarrassment, like, whew, all right, yep, I don't want to see that one again in heaven. Like I don't want to replay that scene. But at the end of the week, next week, I think we're all like, I don't know what to think. I think
Okay.
next week we're gonna just be like, I guess I'm going to the movies now. Like people are gonna say, I guess I'm, like something they didn't realize. Part of it is that you weren't meant to realize it until now. So there's a lot of surprises in store. Let me tell you, like I keep telling clients, oh, but I'll never do that. Says who? You know, People talk themselves out of their dreams a long time ago. And what I'm finding is you were right. You just were an asshole to yourself. So you couldn't see it happening. Now that you've stopped being a jerk, now you can see it can happen. So a lot of it's just that we've always known, but we didn't believe it. So a lot of like, wow, a
That's
lot of wow moments.
yeah. So, man, we went over a lot, and I definitely.
Do you have a
I'm
good
like,
map?
I'm just like waiting. I'm like, I'm sitting down in the theater seat, just like excited to see how this is going to play
Me
out.
too. And I'm throwing popcorn at you and your wife.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? That's Chris in the fifth dimension. Asshole keeps throwing bonbons and popcorn. Like, Ron, what's up, man? You in this one?
We're getting,
Um,
yeah, I can feel some hints of what those rapids are going to be like.
Yeah. In some cases, we don't have hints because we literally said the universe. I think one of the big collective um, desires was don't tell us. Like, I
Yeah,
really think, because a lot of people are like, why the hell can we see a guy like Trump being elected? Because you asked not to be told. Like, you wanted this to be fun, right? Where you couldn't expect what's going to happen next, where life magically takes over for you like a unicorn jumping out of a birthday cake. Isn't that what you wanted? Well, shut up then and enjoy it. Like, so there's a lot of like, oh my God, which is part of the fun. And I do think the popcorn thing is like right. So how can you be true to you? The last thing I'll just say is like, you got to clear your negativity and become neutral about everything. So I don't care what your mom did. I don't care what your dad did. I don't care what Trump did. I don't care what this person. I don't care. Do you have to keep feeling that way? Yes or no? Can you just let it go? Can you? So let go of the feelings because they're just memories, and that'll only be the future if you insist on it. If you insist on it, then yes, the next husband will be abusive, just like the last five. Yes, if that's what you emotionally insist. But realize when you emotionally go, yes, this is the way it is, you just signed a check that said, yep, make it that way again. I'll take another round of the same old depression and dark ages. I'm not joining this unicorn ride with these idiots. I'm going to stay here where it hurts.
drop the
Yeah.
attachments.
Emotional attachments. Like most people are emotionally addicted to their emotions.
Hmm.
And it's like it's because it's a thrill, it's a hormone release, it's a high, it gives you energy and power. When I was sick last week, I can't even remember what it is, and that probably is good for the person, but someone pissed me off so much that I got out of that fucking bed and I cleaned the house. Like I was just like, fuck. And I realized like, damn, anger really gives a lot of energy. And I thought, oh my God, people are addicted to that. Like lazy people are addicted to that. Like people who can't motivate themselves, that anger motivates you more than you realize. And it's like, fortunately, Mars is retrograde, so you're not going to get much of that.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
We are 100% addicted to our traumas because the second you think about it, it gives you that boost. And so then we seek to create it within our experiences.
Yeah. And we're
Unconscious.
tired or whatever. We even say it, like my parents would be like, if they do that one fucking thing again, oh, they did it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
like
turn yourself on.
a lot of people are just addicted to fights. A lot of people fight in politics. I'm like, you're an addict. At this point, let's just see if he burns the country down. Let's just see. Like, we'll stop him if he does. Like, let's just stop him if he does. Like, quit worrying about shit, people. You're making the ride sick for all of us. Just please relax.
Yeah.
You know, that'll be
Okay.
okay. So that was great, man. Hey, let's talk offline. I got to talk to you about something later.
Okay.
You got
All right.
my number, right?
Yeah. I'll text you.
Okay. Okay.
All
Lovely
right.
talking to you, buddy.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Thank you, Chris.
Thank
Have
you,
fun on
guys.
the
I love
rapids.
everybody. I'm a little edgy today because I'm coming back, but don't. My happy side's still here. Don't worry.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Bye
All right.
bye.